Okay, so you're probably wondering what we're going to talk about today and what I'm doing. So, first thing I wanted to talk about is a lot of you might be familiar with this, but this is for the people that have no idea. And I actually get a lot of questions about this. On a lens, why do you shoot a lens? Why would you want to shoot a lens? Do you hunt with a lens? There's a lot of pros and cons to a lens that we're going to get into, and the answer is yes. I've hunted with a lens and I've hunted without a lens. It's kind of one of them things that if you're going to shoot longer shots, we'll get into it. But for me, I do use a lens. I didn't run one last year. I did run one the year before last, but I'm running a lens now. So let's dive into why, pros and cons. Why would you or why would you not want to run a lens for hunting? Now, on a lens, there's a lot of give and take with hunting with a lens or using a lens. All your tournament archers shooting ASA, IBO, FITA rounds, everything like that are using a lens. There are multiple lenses whenever you order one or whenever you get one, look at them. There's multiple types of lenses. They usually range from 1 power to 8 power, I think is the highest that you can get. So you got like a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, 6, and an 8. The higher the number, the higher the magnification. But when you get higher up in magnification, usually you have to have a clarifier. What a clarifier does is it cuts down on the magnification to clear up the target. So you got one that's magnifying up here. You put a clarifier in your peep, which takes away magnification to clear up the target. So what I run is a 2 power. It's a little bit blurry. It magnifies it pretty good, and I don't have to have a clarifier. I don't have to worry about having to put a cap on my peep sight just in case it rains. I can put a cap on this. That's fine. That don't worry me. But I don't want to have to run a cap inside of my peep or on my peep for that reason. So if you're going to hunt with a lens, I would use a 1 to a 2. I wouldn't go over a 3. That loud high-end semis out of the way. I wouldn't go over a 3 for the reason that if you get over a 3, get into a 4, then you're going to have to start having a clarifier in it. There's many different brands that you can run. This is a 360 focus. You can get a doublets version in this. Brian's Custom Lenses, Feather Vision's a big one. Those are just to name a couple. And you can get them for price from $80 all the way to $250. I think the highest ones I've seen is like $250, $300. You're going to get a lot of technology. With that, sun glare, reflection, water not beating up on it. This one is a 360 focus. It was $139. It's a little about middle of the road of what they are. That's all that was me spending enough for hunting. It's me spending enough for hunting. If you're just getting into it, I'd go with the Brian's Custom Lens, something on the lower end, just to test and see if you like it. They're about 80 bucks. Now, you can get whatever lens you want. You can get them cut out. I can get into a whole different array of lens, but this is just the nitty gritty of it. So how much does it actually magnify? So actually how much it magnifies depends on what magnification that you get. With a 2 power, what I've noticed is any distance that I'm shooting at, I wouldn't say magnify it by 2, but just a close reference is my 30 looks like my 20. My 40 looks like my 30. It looks 5 to 10 yards closer than what it is at some distances. It's kind of a give and take. But the bad things about a lens is, yes, it does magnify it, but you're going to have a lot more pin wobble. So your pin's going to be wobbling around a lot more. You're not moving as much as you think you are, but it magnifies your target, it magnifies your wobble. The higher optic you get, then the more wobble you're going to have. Lighting conditions is a big thing. When you get into low light, magnification tends to hurt you, tends to blur things a little bit more in low light. So if you got a lot of animals coming out, low light situations, if they're farther out, if you have better, most people have better eyes than me. I got to wear contacts, so it might not be that big of a thing to you. With me, it's not that big of a thing. I can still pick out the shoulder and stuff, but when you're not running a lens, it's better in low light. If you put a lens on, low light's a little bit worse. So pin wobble, low light's not as good, but it does magnify everything. So that's kind of like the biggest pros and cons of having a lens. Now, whenever you do buy a lens, most lens companies will give this to you. It's like 50-50. You're going to need a lens cover. And all this does, this is a CBE cover that I had. All this does is you cover it over your sight. You don't, when you're walking through brush, you don't get a stick in it. Don't scratch it. Snow's not on it. Water beating up on it. Now, the one that I have bought, this 360 focus, and most all your lenses have a coating on them that water's supposed to bead off of them, and it does, but you are going to have some little water splotches. I would carry a microfiber cloth with you, just like you would with your optics, to kind of wipe that off. But if they do not give you a cover whenever you buy your lens, you're going to need a cover. So they're like 10 to 20 bucks, if that. So buy a cover, save your life. So kind of running through and going back to distance, I'm going to turn this bow around and I'm going to show y'all, do my best to show y'all kind of like a reference of what things look like at distance. I'm going to turn it around, I'm going to stand in front of it, and hopefully we get some good reads on this. So let's see if we can rig this thing up. I don't know if this is going to work because the camera lens and the zoom and stuff is kind of different, so I'll just kind of, this is going to be a trial and error kind of thing, so we're just going to see what this does, but I'm going to get this thing straight and just stand right in front of it, get this thing leveled up, about right there. I need to level it up. Right about there looks fairly decent. Now that string's going to kind of be in the way of it, but this is what we got. This is what we're going to roll with. Here is 20 yards with a 2-power lens. Here is about 30 yards with a 2-power lens. I can step to the side, step back in it. And here's about 40 yards with about right here is 40 with a 2-power, and then I'll step outside of it. And then I'll step back in it. And then I'll step back outside of it again. So that's all I got on lenses. Whenever you go to get a lens, you got to make sure your sight's lens compatible. Most of them come in, you slap them onto the front. It's got a little cap cover right here, lens shade cover, whatever. You can undo it and put your lens in there. Some of them do them from the back. Most of your general sights, your UltraViews, your CBEs, your Black Golds, HHA, Excel sights, they all are lens compatible, and a couple others out there. Most general sights are. If you got a mover sight with that you can end up changing the scope out, it's going to take a lens. So you can't glue them on there, you can't tape them or anything else. Your sight has to be lens compatible to use a lens. So I will leave what I'll do is I'll leave a couple links down below in the comment or in the description, and kind of give y'all just a selection, a little tasting, if you will, of lenses to kind of fit your fancy and try them out and see what you think. But that's it. That's all on lenses, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.